For those of you waiting to see if it's worth it to get an M2, we have some information that pretty much confirms it. Because yes, if you thought the M1 series was powerful, wait till you hear what the new MacBook Pro did to the Mac Pro. Evan Blass just shared everything you need to know about the Pixel 6a since, Google just doesn't do it for him. And we have even more leaks on future Macs and iPads from a very trusted source. I'm Jaime Rivera. Happy Friday for everyone, and I'm just seriously hoping that we don't hear more BS on the news and can actually enjoy the damn weekend. This is Pocketnow Daily. No, we kind of don't have any real official news today, but since the Pixel 6a is somewhat official, we can consider it as such, even if what we have are really leaks to help Google out with their job. Earlier this week, we got 2 fully detailed hands-on videos on the device, and now the one and only Evan Blass shared a full set of press renders on Twitter. Yes, there's nothing really new here, but at least we get to see the phone in its full high-resolution glory from every single angle. It almost seems like these are the press images that Mountain View will be using for advertisement. On a more interesting note though, Evan also shared a full and detailed spec list for the phone, revealing stuff that we hadn't really heard yet. We can expect the 6a to come with a 4306 mAh battery, 6 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, 128 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage, and support for 4K video at up to 60 frames per second. I'm curious as to how Google plans to meet its 24-hour life with these internals, but since the 6.1-inch display will only run at 60 Hz, maybe that will be the trick. Now, what's interesting is if you notice, this pretty much is like an iPhone 13, meaning it's almost a flagship. It pretty much is if it's got the tensor. Now let's talk about Motorola as well. They're still working on their upcoming Razr, and the difference is that this time I'm actually excited. And here's why. According to a new report, this 3rd generation Razr will be a high-end phone with flagship specifications and all while offering a lower price tag than the previous generation. Sounds like a Z Flip 3, but then we can expect it to start at 1149 in euros, and that means a 250 euro cheaper price tag than the Razr 5G, and it's safe to assume that it'll be that same amount in US dollars. I know it's still not Z Flip territory, but with the leaked specifications for this year, I'm not necessarily mad. Motorola's new clamshell will reportedly bring the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 with up to 12 gigs of RAM, paired with up to 512 gigs of storage options. Previous rumors also showed that it could have a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate. Sadly, we'll only get one color option with the black quartz, but hopefully that expands if it finds success. And just to wrap it up, we can expect the new Razr to go global with releases in China, Europe, and North America. With this new price tag though, would you prefer this over the Flip 4? Because I still feel the Flip 4 is a more mature phone, but we'll see. Now, moving on, let's talk about Apple for the next couple of segments. It's been a pretty busy week when it comes to rumors for MacBooks and iPads, but hey, information continues to come in. Ross Young mentions that Apple will launch a new 13-inch MacBook along with 2 new 11 and 12.9-inch iPad Pro models, all with OLED displays. And yes, I know, if we're talking OLED, you're going to ask me now what the catch is. Well, apparently these will launch until 2024. He also said that the laptop is expected to be a new MacBook Air, but also stated that it possibly will have a different branding. Maybe the base MacBook is finally making a comeback, and that's probably the reason why I became interested in this. Young also mentioned that the OLED displays in all 3 devices will adopt a 2-stack tandem structure, allowing for more brightness and less power consumption. All of these devices will also adopt LTPO display technology for ProMotion capabilities, but these would be able to drop to 1 Hz instead of just 10. So for anyone waiting for an OLED Mac or iPad, it seems there's still a bit of wait, but that also means you could probably buy the current ones safely and then just try to trade those in or resell them. And finally, for the hottest news today, let's stick to Apple and some interesting information about the new 13-inch M2 MacBook Pro that was just revealed and launched pretty much right now. Yes, I am not telling you to buy one because that design is about as ancient as it gets, but it does help us understand just how far ahead the M2 chip is. Just as a word of warning, if you ever bought a 2019 Mac Pro, this segment is going to upset you. I mean, Geekbench shows that the new 13-inch MacBook Pro, you know, that $1,300 laptop, achieved multi-core scores of 8,928, while the base Mac Pro configuration with the 8-core Intel Xeon processor has an average multi-score of 8,027. That's right. The $1,300 13-inch MacBook Pro is 11% faster in multi-core performance than the $6,000 base Mac Pro. The only way to get more power out of an Intel Mac is if you go for the configuration that costs $7,000. And here's the thing, we've seen what the M1 is capable of with the Pro, the Max, the Ultra variants, heck, even the base model, but if the base model of the M2 is already beating a device that's nearly 4 times more expensive and still on sale, I cannot wait for the M2 Pro variants and what those will do. But in today's question, let us know, I mean, have you already gotten an M1 MacBook, or is this making you consider one? Because listen, I was one of the naysayers. If you go watch my videos on the M1s, I was like, yeah, I thought that these things, I had to review them. I didn't really care. But then I did an export against my $5,000 16-inch MacBook Pro at the time, and I stopped using that computer for that 13-inch MacBook Pro in the M1 variation that is now an M2 for the same money. Again, I'm not recommending you buy it, but oh my God, just wait for the MacBook Air, you get the new design, or wait for the new M Pros, which I'm not exactly sure they'll come out this year, but it's just wow. It is so crazy that all I need now is for Apple to take gaming seriously. But that's just me. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social media. Our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me. I really don't even want to read the news lately. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.